In typical style, the U.S. president heightened suspense over the fate of the landmark nuclear deal with Iran when he posed with senior military officials. Cryptically, he said, maybe it's the calm before the storm. Donald Trump wouldn't explain whether he was referring to Iran, but again, he made clear his distaste for what he's condemned as an embarrassing deal made by his predecessor, Barack Obama.
We must put an end to Iran's continued aggression and nuclear ambitions. They have not lived up to the spirit of their agreement.
As to the letter of the deal, his administration has twice certified to the U.S. Congress that Iran is fundamentally complying with the terms. Earlier this week, Defense Secretary James Mattis said holding Iran to it was in America's security interest.
I believe at this point in time, absent indications to the contrary, it is something the president should consider staying with.
But if he does refuse to certify, Donald Trump could force Congress to make the next move. It has 60 days to review its options, and those include sanctions. The U.S. president's allies in Congress say their aim is to force Iran back to the bargaining table.
I'm saying that we need a new and broader approach that looks at fixing the problems with the deal and confronting Iran's campaign for imperial aggression in the region. That may involve reimposed sanctions, but there's no reason we shouldn't give some time for diplomacy to work.
Iran's foreign minister told Al Jazeera that by withdrawing, Trump would be damaging U.S. credibility.
So I believe that the United States would be much better off if the United States agreed to abide by the deal, because if it didn't, the international community would never trust any commitment by the United States.
Even those who say the deal is bad acknowledge that renewing sanctions would have an economic impact on the United States. Boeing, one of America's biggest employers, has signed $20 billion in orders from Iranian airlines. It's warned that 100,000 American jobs are in jeopardy if sanctions are reimposed. Trump is also at odds with his allies, including the British, whose embassy here pointedly tweeted, "The nuclear deal, it's working." They'll all be listening closely when the president makes his announcement next week, a few days before the recertification deadline. Tom Ackerman, Al Jazeera, Washington.